You know what they say, silence is powerful. But if you're testing the new MacBook Pro and the iMac, needs a little bit of power to hold these, they are incredibly silent, but this is a bunch of products that have been built from the ground up for Apple Intelligence with the mighty M4 chip. We're going to test these after unboxing them, but first I need to place them on a table and unbox them for you. There you go, mighty unboxing for the mighty M4. And yes, this is an incredibly powerful 14-inch MacBook Pro with M4 for Apple Intelligence, but we'll get to this in the latter half. First, I want to talk about this absolute beauty. And the reason I want to talk about this first is because this is a 24-inch iMac with M4, the new edition, with a few changes, but the best thing about it is the display. This comes with a nano texture coating. What does that do? It reduces glare and improves image quality in bright light. How does that do that? Well, essentially, if I want to geek out on it, they actually make tiny scratches on the display. And it's not the sort that would ruin image quality. It's actually to scatter light even further. That's how a lot of high-end Apple products and other tech products, even in televisions, manage to do this. So if you use a flashlight and point it at this 24-inch 4.5K Retina display, you'll see that the image quality doesn't really get affected. And I think that can be a game changer, especially if you're using this in brighter, well-lit environments. But under the hood is where all the magic happens with M4, because in 2024, all Apple products are built for Apple Intelligence, Apple's big bet in the AI world. Now, it's all starting. It's good to see that you have that increased power over here. If you're talking about this particular version, there's a 10-core CPU, a 10-core GPU, and a 16-core neural engine. You can obviously customize some of this on the Apple website or at the Apple Store. This one comes with 24 gigs of unified memory, 1 terabyte SSD storage, and the particular version that we're testing comes with a gigabit Ethernet slot and 4 Thunderbolt ports. Right here at the back, you can see the Apple branding over here, a nice light blue color. I prefer last year's yellow, but that's just me talking. Of course, this time, a little bit of a bummer is the fact that a trackpad did not come out of the box. Last year, it did come with the M3 iMac. Now, the M3 iMac was a big jump after 2 generations. From the first iMac, from M1 to M3. Here, now you have an M4, which means a lot more in terms of processing, a lot more in terms of gaming. But what comes out of the box is, of course, this wireless keyboard. Everything matches the color scheme. You get a pink one, everything is pink. You've got this magnetic power connector at the back. And there's some good things, of course. The fact that finally Apple has moved to USB-C, not just on iPhones, but also on the iMac. You had to use a lightning cable for this particular mouse last time around. Now you can use the USB-C. But what hasn't changed, and which can be a bit tricky, is the fact that they have kept the port at the bottom, so which means you cannot use this if you are charging the mouse. You can, I think, buy the trackpad separately, but I personally prefer using the trackpad for editing and for other purposes. This is a little bit tricky, but I was actually watching an interesting piece of content where they said maybe Apple does this deliberately because a lot of third-party manufacturers can come up with innovative ways, like we say jugaadu ways, of a particular dock where you can continue using the mouse. But this is something that needs to change, and I wish this was placed differently. Now, another thing, a surprise from that box, was this, Apple's very famous polishing cloth, which does a brilliant job, but the pricing of this has always been something that surprises and irks people. It costs 1900 rupees. And I kid you not, on the Apple website, you can pay 172 rupees per month to actually own this piece of cloth. For now, we are using this across all Apple devices and ensuring that the Tech Today team gets you the best visuals for all of these machines and beasts that we have to review on the show. Another key feature on the iMac is a 12 megapixel center stage camera with the ability for desk view. So all those cool unboxings and things you want to showcase on your table, especially when you're on a call, can all happen from this particular camera. We've seen increased clarity over here as well, and I'm guessing that also comes with some software enhancements. If you're gaming and you're comparing it to the old iMac with M1, you'll have 2 times higher frame rates on this particular iMac, which means that I have to pull out a gaming controller. You can hook it up with your computer, and yes, there is a library of Apple games which is getting better. Some of them are amazing. You see that, hardware accelerated ray tracing. Apple's going to get serious about gaming with this enhanced capability and prowess and efficiency on their M4, and I think this is absolutely amazing for gaming as well. The 24-inch display is just what you want. You know that nano textured glass is working for you as well, and it seamlessly connects with these controllers, and you can play some of your favorite games on the iMac as well. If you're a content creator and you want to edit photo and video, it's 2 times faster than the last iMac with M1. If you're using apps like Adobe Photoshop, Premiere Pro, that makes a big difference as well. Now, if you compare this to the most popular 24-inch all-in-one PC with maybe an Intel Core 7 processor, Apple claims this is 4.5 times faster than that Intel PC. So honestly, what they've done with silicon means that you can do so much more with enhanced efficiency, better battery life on some of their other products, which we will get to over here. And I'll tell you a little bit more about the M line of chipsets. But this is the MacBook Pro 14 inches with M4. Now, this is a 14.2-inch liquid retina XDR display. There's no nano coating on this one, but it comes with an Apple M4 chip with 10 cores in the CPU, 10-core GPU, and a 16-core neural engine. It comes with 16 gigs of unified memory, and honestly, anything that you toss at a MacBook Pro, it will give you what you want. It's like this right sort of input will give you 10 times the output. Is it much of an upgrade from last year's MacBook Pro? That's something we will get to at the end of this video. But honestly, in terms of video editing, like I said, gaming, again, it comes with that M4 capability. Now, it's not just M4, this is a base chipset. Believe you me, if you want to go for an M4 Pro or an M4 Max, those are capable of even more when it comes to multitasking, even more when it comes to battery life. Between the 14-inch and the 16-inch, because you can get this in a bigger screen size as well, you'll get a couple of hours of battery life more on the 16-inch and a bigger display. But I think this is the right size. It's more pocketable, you can carry it, and you will not make excuses like me carrying your iPad instead. This is the right sort of size. Like I said at the beginning of this video, silence is powerful. And honestly, the fact that you can do so many things on this device and not hear a sound, not even a murmur or a slight bit of resistance from this chipset is a testament to what silicon is all about. Now, this particular version also comes with 1 terabyte of storage. There's more happening on the inside. Of course, we have 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports, an HDMI port, a headphone jack, an SDXC card slot, and it comes with MagSafe for charging. The color coordination is nice to see with their design philosophy. You know, they say don't judge a book by its cover, because if you look at these 2 devices or any of this year's devices, you might not be able to tell the difference between 2023's model and 2024's model. Most of it is on the inside, so the real difference is M4. Let's compare it to M3. It's on that same 3 nanometer chipset, but there is much more efficiency, much better thermal management, so you're going to get some of those features with the M4. Is it something that makes you upgrade from last year's devices? Probably not. With this particular device, the one thing I miss is the trackpad being there. I think that whole lightning port debate was fun to talk about on social media, but it doesn't make much of a difference, because honestly, what this package deal is all about makes it 3 to 4 times better than any Windows PC. But if you're talking about upgrading from last year, it doesn't make sense at all. You need a 2 or a 3-year upgrade cycle. If you're using an M1 or you're using an Intel-based computer from Apple, then it makes sense to perhaps change and change now. Now, if you're very price conscious about it and you're sure you don't want a Windows alternative, you're fine with the Apple ecosystem. In fact, you're immersed in that ecosystem, then maybe if you get a great deal on last year's M3, and let's just stop there with these devices, you will have an almost brilliant device. well, you always want the latest and greatest. That's when you look at these particular devices, but there's no end to where you go with the M4, the M4 Pro, or further higher up, get more of a storage option. So that is a cascading effect that you'll have, and the price goes up accordingly. But honestly, if you want to future-proof yourself for Apple Intelligence, because that's a work in progress, it's something that will get better with each rendition, then it's a no-brainer. You have to upgrade to the latest M4 devices. But honestly, you cannot go wrong with either of the MacBooks. If you want a budget option, you could just go for the MacBook Air. The iMac is a special product. Choose the colors wisely because everything else will be color coordinated. But there you go, your first look at the new MacBook Pro and the new iMac here on Tech Today.